What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you guys about how I found out I was pregnant and then how I told everybody else that I was pregnant. So just a disclaimer, this is when I found out I was pregnant with Paisley. So I am not currently pregnant, just to get that out of the way. And here's Miss Paisley right here. So I found out I was pregnant on December 26th of 2020. I found out at my parents' house in Utah. We were down visiting for Christmas, and I was 4 days late starting my period. And I was a little bit nervous to test because I was late starting my period the previous month. I was like 3 days late, and so I tested and it ended up being negative, and I was pretty sad about it actually. And so this time I didn't want to test until I was pretty sure that I was pregnant. And so I was 4 days late, and I was like, let's just take a test, see what happens. And so I was at my parents' house. We were celebrating Christmas the day after Christmas. I told my husband, I was like, I think I might be pregnant. And he was kind of like, really? And I was like, yeah. I told him, I was like, can you go buy me a pregnancy test and just tell everybody that I need a Dr. Pepper or something, because everybody was around. Everybody would have known if he went to the store just to get something so specific like a pregnancy test. So he went out, told everyone he was bringing me a Dr. Pepper, came back with the pregnancy test, left it in the car. I was sneakily drinking water from a paper cup, went outside and grabbed the test from the car, and then I went downstairs to go to the bathroom, and I peed in the cup, and then I tested. And I was shook because the pregnancy test was as dark as it could be. It was a very true, yes, I was pregnant. And it was a very special, feeling that I had. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a mom. And I was super excited. I started crying, and then I just sucked it all up, and I went back upstairs, and I went outside, and I was gonna put the test in the car, and then I was like, he'll probably follow me outside, he'll probably see that I went outside, and he did. So I was outside putting the test in the car, and my husband comes outside, and I look at him, and I'm like, you're gonna be a dad. He's like, no way. And I was like, yeah, it's positive, it's a very, very clear positive. And he was like, that's crazy. And I was like, yeah, but let's test again just to make sure. And so we were both like, okay, we'll test when we go back to his parents' house, because we were staying at his parents' house, not my parents. Yeah, so we went back inside, and we were both kind of so out of it, because I just found out I was pregnant, and he just found out that I was pregnant, and we were gonna be parents. And so we were both kind of freaking out a little bit, but we still had to be pretending we didn't know anything and that everything was normal. And we were just sitting there trying to have fun, trying to play games with my family. It just wasn't we weren't having a good time, because we were both just thinking about oh my gosh, we just found out that I was pregnant. We ended up leaving probably an hour later, just being oh, it's getting late. It was probably 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We're probably just gonna go back and get ready for bed and whatnot. And really we were just what's going on? And we wanted to go buy another pregnancy test. I wanted the digital one that says pregnant instead of just the lines. And so we went to the store and bought one of the digital ones. Went back to his house, and this time my husband wanted to see the thing turn pregnant. And so I peed on a stick. We both just sat in the bathroom till it did its thing, and it blinked, and it turned pregnant. And we both were okay, I'm pregnant, and we were super excited. We did get pregnant on the second time trying, and I know, especially now, that is rare, and that I'm just so grateful I was able to get pregnant that easily. So we were at my in-laws' house at this point. We still had to act normal, because I was we're not gonna tell anybody until 12, 13 weeks, until it's safe to tell people. So I didn't want to tell a soul. And so we just went about our business carrying this huge secret. Nobody knew. And I thought we did a pretty good job because I don't think anybody knew. A few days later, we ended up coming back up to Rexburg, so we don't really have any family up here, and so it was a lot easier to like keep that secret because like no one's around us, like none of our family. And then I went like probably like 4 or 5 days before I had a breakdown, and I was so scared of all the unknowns. Never been pregnant, and I felt so alone because I had no family up here. Because if worst comes to worst and we lose the baby, I needed to have people in my corner to help me. And so I finally caved. It was probably after like the 4th breakdown of the day, and I had gotten back from doing something, and I need to tell my parents I need their support. I need more people to know. Why am I crying? I'm crying because you're right here. You're right here. Hi. Later that night, I like FaceTime my parents, and I'm like, hey, we have something to tell you, but we like only want you to know. Like, we don't want like any of my siblings to know. We don't want any of our extended families to know. We don't want anybody to know. So I was like, we're gonna FaceTime you, but go somewhere private. And so I'm gonna like insert the video that I have of FaceTiming them. But one thing I didn't know is that it doesn't take the sound, so there's no sound with it. So basically it's just like the FaceTime video of like us telling them and them like freaking out. And that's like basically the gist of the video. And so yeah, we tell them over FaceTime, and they freak out, as you can see. I felt so relieved to have somebody who knew and someone who could be there for me. And then my mom actually came up to visit us, like, I want to say it's like the next day. She like found out, and then she was like, I'm coming up to help you. And I was like, okay. So I was probably like 4 or 5 weeks at that point. I was still kind of like, I don't know when I want to tell like all of our siblings, like all my in-laws. I didn't know. I was like, we'll see when that happens, because I was still kind of like, I don't want to tell people till 13 weeks. But then after I told my parents, I kind of was like, you know, again, if like something happens, I want as many people to support me and to be in my corner. And so I was like, you know, it's okay if we tell like the rest of my family and then like my in-laws before 13 weeks. While my mom was in town, we came up with like how we were gonna tell my in-laws, and then I didn't know how I was gonna tell the rest of my family, but I just like came up with it on the spot. And so we had a trip planned at the end of January to go down to Utah for my husband's birthday. That was the weekend when we told like everybody else. The next person we told was my little brother, and I kind of feel bad because we didn't really tell him in a special way. He was laying down in the living room, and we come over and we're like, hey, guess what, we have something to tell you. And like he was like, what? And I like pull out the ultrasound, and he's like, what? No way. And I was like, yeah, we're pregnant, like due September 2nd, like super exciting. And then we told him, we were like, the reason why we told you is because we want to surprise my little sister in like a special way, kind of like surprise her, freak her out, you know. We needed him to video it, and so I will put in that video. Basically, we just went to the store and pretended like we needed to buy baby stuff, and she like basically figured out that I was pregnant because of that. Are you pregnant?
Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Are these the newborns? Okay. Can you get some? We're not sure yet.
Wait, are you?
Yeah.
What? Did you be mommy?
Yes.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah. Got one in the oven.
Wait, I'm shocked. No, you're not.
No. Did you bring the picture with you?
I didn't. I should also.
Wait, did everyone else know?
No, just Derek, your mom and dad. Your mom and dad's known for like 4 weeks, but Derek just found out like an hour ago.
Wait, no! She was super surprised and super excited for us. And so that was telling my little sister. And then I have 2 more older brothers, and one of them, they live in Arizona, but they were in Utah at the time, but they were about an hour away, and my sister-in-law had just had surgery, and so they were gonna be staying at that place in Utah, and it was like an hour drive away, and so we didn't really want to drive up there. Plus she was kind of in bed, like because of her surgery, she wasn't able to walk or anything, and so we just decided like, you know, we're just gonna FaceTime them, let them know that way. And it was super funny. We FaceTimed them, and she was so loopy. Like, I think she had her surgery like that day. Like, she was so loopy. We were like, hey, like, how are you guys? And we were like, we have like a secret to tell you. And she was like, you're pregnant. And I was like, yeah, I am pregnant. And we showed them the ultrasound, and they were both like super excited for us. And we were like, yeah, we're just telling like immediate family. And then she was like, Mom, like, Claira's pregnant. And then my brother was like, you know, you're not supposed to like tell anybody. And she was so loopy, and I was just like, it's okay, don't worry, like, it's all good. And so we told them, and then I have another brother who lives 3.5 hours away from where we were staying in Utah, and so we weren't gonna be seeing them anytime soon. And so I was like, you know what, we'll probably just FaceTime them too. And so I called them and FaceTimed them. My biggest thing is I wanted to tell them both together, like I wanted to my brother and my sister-in-law at the same time. Like, looking back at it, I wish I would have waited till they were not driving, because they were in the car driving to like the gym or like a doctor's appointment or somewhere. They were just driving, and they were like, yeah, we can talk. And I was like, no, like, I can talk to you guys later. And they're like, no, it's okay, we can tell you now. And so I was just like, okay, whatever. So I like told them that I was pregnant, and I showed them the ultrasound, and yeah, my brother was really excited for me, and that's how we told my family. And I didn't get those FaceTimes on video, and I think it was just because I realized that the audio doesn't come with it when you screen record. So yeah, I didn't video those ones. And so at that point, I was 8 weeks pregnant, and my whole side, like everyone on my side of the family knew that I was pregnant. And then a couple days later was when my in-laws were going to celebrate my husband's birthday. And so for his birthday, I decided to wrap a letter board, and it said like, baby story coming September 2021. And he was going to unwrap it at his birthday party at his family's house. It was kind of funny because during like my first trimester, I was super sick, and so I was always wearing C-bands around my wrist. And so earlier, before his birthday, someone saw my C-band, and I don't remember if they mentioned anything about them or what, but she definitely could tell that like something was up, and she thought I was pregnant. And I was like, shoot, like she's gonna know. And so later that day during the party, what they do is they go around, go like oldest, youngest, or youngest, oldest, whatever way. It kind of like got to the point where it was like kind of my turn. We had everybody in that family there except for my father-in-law. He was in Florida at the time, and so we FaceTimed him in, and he was actually about to get off the FaceTime, but we were like, no, just like wait a minute. And so he's like, okay. And so I'll just show you the video.
Oh, I just lost 2 letters, but doesn't matter. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I lost some letters.
And so yeah, they were super excited because the youngest grandkid at that point was like 6. So Paisley's number 5 on that side of the family, and Paisley's number 1 on my side of the family. And so it was like a huge deal telling everybody that I was pregnant. I told the rest of everybody over social media. I made the classic Instagram post, which also posted to my Facebook, and as soon as like my family saw that post and other people saw that post, they knew that it was okay to like tell whoever they wanted. The day that I posted that, I called like all my grandparents that don't get on, oh, you have spit up. I called all my grandparents that are on social media, and I just finished telling like all the people that I felt like I needed to tell. Everyone else just found out through social media. This little girl was in my tummy. It's in my tummy, and now she's here. Anyways, so that is how I found out I was pregnant and how I told everybody that I was pregnant. And honestly, it's pretty fun to have such a big secret, but it's also a lot of fun to tell people your big secret. And it's a lot of fun to come up with fun ways to tell people, in my opinion. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and like it for cute Paisley's outfit. Guess what? I'm pregnant. Do you know what that means for you? You're not my only baby.